everybody, I'm back with my Survivor review of episode 4 of Heroes vs. Villains. Now, we last left off with Randy getting voted off, so we start the episode with the villains returning back from Tribal Council, and Coach is pretty much in a bad mood because Sandra called him out at Tribal, basically said that he was worthless, so he took all those words she said to heart, and he started to have a meltdown. He was talking with Tyson on the beach, and he started to cry, get really emotional, and he basically doesn't understand why people don't take him serious, why people think of him as a joke, why no one has nothing nice to ever say about him. So Tyson's trying to tell him that he has to start acting more, serious. Like, stop wearing feathers in your head at Tribal Council. Stop telling these exaggerated stories. Stop being like this kind of person that he is. But of course, that's who Coach is, because I think Coach is a great character, and he somewhat does play for the camera, but I also think he actually does believe in himself as that kind of person that he presents. So he actually contemplated in quitting the game because he was so hurt. So Tyson had to talk him out of it. So the next day, the whole villains tribe, they see that Coach is still in a bad mood. Tyson lets everyone know what happened. So now Boston Rob comes to console Coach and try to basically wakes him up and gets him to get him to be motivated. So Coach is saying how I want to be a part of this tribe, I want to fit in, I don't feel like I fit in, but then Rob is telling him that you do fit in, that you're not on the outs. So they man up and they hug each other, and it looks like Coach is getting back on the right track. So now we head to the first challenge, which is going to be the reward challenge. We get to the Heroes Beach, and we see that there's a big Sears catalog. So basically, each tribe, you have to pick 3 items that they want in case they win the reward. So the heroes, they basically go for food. So they picked a fishing pole, twine, and not twine, but a tackle box and a kitchen set, all to catch and make food. And the villains, they basically go for shelter and making a better shelter. So they get a tarp, twine, and some toolkit to fix for a better shelter. So the reward challenge basically is a course where they gotta slip and slide. There's like a number of balls basically, and Jeff is gonna call out the number. So the head-to-head competition, and whoever gets that number first, they run to the course, and then they throw the ball into the basket basically. So they had to put all this oil stuff on them, which makes the challenge more fun and interesting. It was a really fun challenge. It was really competitive. It was tied 3-3. It came down to Colby versus Tyson, and of course Tyson won the challenge for the villains, thus the villains winning again. So they went all that equipment to get a better shelter. Now they go back to their camp, and they're disassembling all their new items they won, and Russell looks at this knife and he takes it out, and next thing you know, a note falls out, and Boston Rob caught that. So he opens up the note, and it's basically a clue to the hidden immunity idol. So everyone sees this, and of course Russell, the king of finding hidden immunity idols, he's really pissed off that he didn't see this in private. So they all start to discuss what they're going to do with it, and Sandra said basically whoever goes for the idol is marked. So whoever gets the idol, they're going to vote for it so they can flush out that idol and get rid of the person. So of course this don't sit well with Russell. So they all start fixing the shelter, and Russell tells everyone that he has to go off somewhere. Obviously, no one's dumb here, so Boston Rob pretty much knew that he was going to look for the idol. He tells Sandra to follow Russell, so while Russell's trying to look for the idol, Sandra's eavesdropping on him, which she's so good at from you've seen Parvati, and she was so good at doing that. So she sees Russell looking for the hidden mini idol, she reports back, and basically now it seems like Russell's on the chopping block. So at the Heroes Beach, they're making coffee, and next thing you know, inside their coffee is also a note for the hidden immunity idol. So JT reads it in front of everyone, and of course he's thinking to himself, damn, I wish I would have saw this by myself. So they all take a different approach in the village. They all start to look for the hidden immunity idol. And Tom and Colby, who's on the outs of the tribe, they really know that they need to get this idol. So sure enough, Tom goes to the right spot, but Amanda and James and Candace is all on his heels. He finds a hidden immunity idol. He tries to hide it and puts it in his sock, but Amanda basically saw him, so she was smart enough to really follow him throughout that whole day, so he wouldn't see that he wouldn't find a hidden immunity idol. So she knows he got it, and she tells everyone that he got the hidden immunity idol. So Colby and Tom, they know they got the idol in their possession. They're going to try their best to try to see what they can do to work their way into the alliance of Cerie, James, Candace, Amanda, and JT and Rupert. So now we're off to the immunity challenge, and it's a challenge that happened last season where basically one person is in a ball and two people are blindfolded, and the person in the ball has to direct them to the spot where they got to go to, and then the next half of the challenge is all the other tribe members are blind as well, and they're holding up a maze, and the person in the ball basically is going to be the caller and has to tell them how to direct the ball so it could go into the maze, into the hole. So this challenge was famous because basically Russell Swine from last season had a medical emergency. He collapsed, he fainted, and they couldn't complete the challenge at all, and he was evacuated from the game. So whoever won this challenge will be the first tribe to basically win this challenge ever in Survivor history. So sure enough, it was a tight race. Boston Rob was the caller for the villains, and Tom was the caller for the heroes. So it got down to the maze portion, and it was so close. The heroes were so close, but they couldn't do it. And sure enough, the villains once again won a challenge, thus not going to tribal council. So of course now Tom and Colby, they're really bummed out because they know one of them is going to be going home. So if they don't work their magic, then there's definitely one of them leaving. So they all start to talk and discuss, and Tom goes, you know, I got this idol, tells Amanda and James what we're going to do, you know, I want to go into your alliance. So it seemed like it was working, especially with Amanda, and so they all of a sudden started to target Candace because JT doesn't trust Candace. So Amanda reports back to Sari, who's pretty much the mastermind of their alliance, and Sari, who always takes out the power players, she does not like this at all because she's saying, well, Candace isn't a threat, Tom and Colby's more of a threat. So this doesn't sit well with her, and she somehow convinces the whole team to don't vote out Candace and to vote out either Tom or Colby. So they decide, since they got the Hidden Millie idol, they should go 3 votes Colby, 3 votes Tom, and Tom will flush out the idol and Colby will go home. So that's the plan, so to speak. But this doesn't sit well with JT because JT knows that Sari is a bigger threat, because pre-show he was talking about wanting to get rid of Sari because she's such a good strategist and she knows how to play a great social game. So Tom gets into JT's ear and tells him, if you flip your vote, it's be him, Tom, and Colby voting for Sari, and then 2 votes for Colby and 3 votes for Tom, and Tom flushes out the idol, and that means Sari goes home. So now we're off the tribal council, and Jeff is just growing them and asking them, why do you keep losing challenges? And Rupert basically says, well, I don't want to vote for the person I'm voting for, but because I'm in an alliance, I have no choice, which makes no sense because that means you're going to keep losing if you keep voting out your strong people. So JT looks really conflicted throughout this whole entire tribal council. He looks like he's about to cry, or he looks really uncomfortable. So it gets down to the votes, and of course Tom plays a Hidden Immunity idol and he gets 3 votes, so all those 3 votes are canceled. Colby gets 2 votes. Then it's 1 vote Sari, 2 votes Sari, and the 4th person voted out Survivor Hero versus Villain, Sari, with 3 votes. So JT flipped his vote. He did it. He switched his alliance, supposedly, for now, and Sari is voted off with a total blindside. Her alliance is completely blindsided, and you know what? I love Sari as a person and as a Survivor player, but what goes around comes around. She had a taste of her own medicine. She did a lot of blindsiding in Micronesia and in Exile Island, so she got a taste of what was coming. And you know what? It saves a great player in Tom, who I'm a big fan of. So there you have it, an exciting episode again of Survivor Heroes versus Villains. I can't wait for episode 5. It should be good tomorrow night. I'll see you there. Peace.